You don't want to say goodbye.
If really.
To writing them or reading them, whichever end you're on. Yeah, I have a series, and I'm the same way. You're like, I'm not ready for it to end. I kind of need it to end so I can do more work because I'm stuck in this until the end of time.
Yeah, for sure. I can see how it would get into that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I think our hero is back saving the day with a new laptop charger. I think this will work. It's got lots in here. And then you also have an anthology with how many other people do you have on that?
The first one was myself, Dr. Stuart Knott, Emiliano Trulio, and then Christina Resnover. That was the first one. And then the second one, we actually got a few more people. So Emiliano and Christina both came back. And then we got Robin Shadell, and then my daughter, Ayla Bush, Jason. If I say your name wrong, sorry, Jason. I think it's Legois. It's Liegois. Sorry if I've said your name wrong, Jason. And then we put some poems in there also, and those are by Neil Stevens.
Oh, okay.
So between most of the stories, we have a poem that he wrote.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it a scary poem or?
Yeah, they're all kind of dark love stories.
Okay.
Is what that one is. It's our dark love edition. And so
we love the creep factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out really well. The first one, it was my first attempt. So the stories are great, but it looks a bit rough. The second one, I worked out more of the kinks. It's a little better. That we still had some issues, but the next one will be better, and I'll just keep.
That's right. Keep getting better. So, did your wife do the cover design or anything like that for your books?
She did it for both of the Tales from Deranged Minds books.
She does all of his on his YouTube.
Oh, cool.
She's talented.
I do have to make a correction on Let There Be Snow. A good friend of mine, her name's Caitlin Tippett. She drew that one.
Oh, well, it was very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that last time, but yeah. And then she is also Caitlin's going to do the cover for our Tales from Deranged Minds. Our next one will be a Campfire Stories.
Oh, awesome.
Doing spooky, like outdoors, cryptids, maybe. Whatever. I don't put limits on anything that anybody else writes. I give them a topic and be like, write whatever you want.
Cool. Awesome. So how did you guys all come to meet each other?
I actually just looked through my contacts, except for Emiliano. He contacted me and wanted to hit one of his stories, because I'm going to start doing a podcast eventually, and he wanted me to read one of his stories on my podcast, which I'm going to do. His book's called Still City Nightmares. And so, yeah. And then Christina, she was on Instagram. She just liked all my stuff. We liked each other's stuff. And she normally didn't write horror. She wrote one before that was more of about when she lost her mom.
Oh.
And I just asked her, I said, do you want to try a horror story? And she was excited, and she did a really good job. So
it
turned out good. And then with Dr. Stuart Knott, I saw him up on Instagram some books of the year for an Instagram page. And so I just messaged him and see if he wanted to join us, and he did, and his turned out really good also. And so for the second one, Emiliano and Christina, they wanted to come back, and they'll also be back for the Campfire Stories. But just the same, I just messaged a few of them and asked them if they wanted to be in a short story book, and those are the ones that said, yeah. I messaged a bunch of people. but I'm happy. I'm very happy with the ones that said yes. They did it. All of them did a great job.
So through Instagram primarily is.
Yeah, a lot through Instagram, and then a couple of them were from Facebook.
That's awesome. I love
But
Instagram.
Yeah,
I have a lot more followers on Instagram than I do Facebook, so that was primarily where we met.
That's like, I have Facebook and Instagram, but my Facebook is primarily people I know,
yeah.
like personally know, and I just kind of keep it that way. But Instagram, they seem to have a better community too.
I think so. More supportive.
Yeah.
Twitter has a good writing community as well. That's where I have the majority of my followers is on Twitter.
I see all the terrible stuff on Twitter. I'm scared of that one.
Just stick to the writing community and you'll be good.
Yeah.
They're all really supportive. Yeah. Any of the rest of it, I don't pay attention to.
Oh, nice.
I'm not crazy about it, so I stick to Instagram primarily, but
it just seems like all the mean stuff I hear people say about people online, it's usually from Twitter.
I haven't had that experience, so sorry to hear that.
It hasn't happened to me because like I said, I haven't been on it. But
right.
That just sounds like the worst one. But that's not the writing people I've heard about. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
A lot of times you just hear the bad stuff. So. People love drama.
Yes.
Yeah, the keyboard warriors who are not worried about you knocking their lights out because they are far away.
Yeah.
Which I haven't really found that on Instagram.
No, I haven't found that on, but but I don't look deeper, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to look into Twitter. You get a lot of support from there?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. I'll have to look into that.
You can find us there.
We're there.
Or, yes.
Not very often. She's there quite often. I'm there maybe once or twice a month. I'll look in.
Yeah, I spent a long time building my platform on there, so I stay.
She actually signed me up and built my platform on Twitter also.
Oh, nice.
So I was like,
that's impressive. That's impressive. That's the hardest part, is trying to build up things. That's tough.
Yeah, my friend SJ, who is also an author, gave me a lot of really good advice, and he was right. And he taught me how to build my community. So I was lucky to get that from him, because I had no idea. Somebody, retweets your pinned tweet, and you're like, thanks. You didn't know you're supposed to go back and retweet theirs, that kind of thing. And
okay, I didn't know that either.
Right? Yeah, so he told me to go to his wall, and anybody that he followed, and he followed them, and they followed me back, and then we just all, if you have a pinned tweet, which I usually do, we usually get some pretty good traction out of it, because I don't know, I've got 10,000 followers on Twitter, so but I should have more, but I get lazy with it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay here. I've got,
Well, that's more followers than I have on everything put together.
Right, me too. Me too. That is one thing that I have found on Twitter is when you follow somebody, they're more likely to follow you back on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe they don't have the cap. Like Instagram, you can only follow so many people
per day. So yeah. And Twitter will cut you off, or X or whatever we're calling it now. After so many in a day, so many, whatever, it'll start thinking that you're trying to, flood yourself. I mean, that kind of stuff. So just come back the next day. No, I like my following on Twitter. I have a lot of writing community. I need more reading community. We're always working on other things and more books and marketing, which I suck at.
It's tough for sure.
It really is.
Ray is amazing at marketing.
Oh,
Right. your shorts on YouTube and sharing them on Instagram. They are incredible.
Well, thank you. I put a lot of work into that too.
Oh, that.
My son does a few of them, but yeah, I put a lot of that's at least probably like an hour, maybe an hour and a half out of my day is putting all those together.
Oh, awesome.
That is awesome.
And it takes some time to post it on everything.
Yes.
That's actually what takes the longest.
Yes. So has Instagram really helped you with getting it out there and getting followers or which do you think is better for that, Instagram or Facebook?
I've been more successful on Instagram. The only thing I don't like about my Instagram is when I first started, I got in a lot of those follow loops.
Yes.
And I followed a bunch of people. They didn't follow. They didn't follow
you after you followed them, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I got like 7,000 people that I'm following, 6,000 something, and only 2,500 followers. So I don't like that. And it's so hard to delete followers from Instagram. They make it so.
Twitter, it's a lot easier. You can see who follows you and who does not. And I'm like, okay, well, you followed me first, and now you've dumped me, so I'm going to dump you too.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole lot of success on Facebook yet.
I haven't either. Not really.
Well, and I quit Facebook after my sister died because of the memories. They show you so many, everything. We did everything together. So it was, after she passed, I just couldn't for the longest time. Every once in a while, I'll go in there now and look, but most of the time, anything that posts to my Facebook was an auto post from Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I still haven't tried to network or anything through Facebook just because I just can't open the app right now. So,
well, that's understandable for sure. But like I said, I haven't been too successful on Facebook, so you may not be missing much.
Yeah. I never was real big on it anyway. It was just a way to keep in touch with family members out of state and that kind of thing. So
play on it.
And silly quizzes.
Yeah, it's more for fun. It's more for fun. It's not for business as far as that.
Yeah, Instagram is definitely better for marketing. At least I've found myself. TikTok, I do all right on TikTok, but Instagram, that seems to be where I get the most messages from people asking about stories and stuff like that. TikTok, I get a lot of views, but not a lot of comments or messages.
What kind of things do people ask you? You get some crazy requests?
Honestly, the people who message me most on Instagram is the Illuminati asking me to join. So.
Oh, marvelous! That's exciting. Congratulations!
Right.
I'm looking into it. No, but mostly just where they can find my stuff. Yeah, and then I've had a couple people message me since the Tales from Deranged Minds have come out to try to get in the next one. So it's been all right.
So do you vet them or?
Oh yeah, for sure. I want as many people to be in it as possible.
So, do you have certain criteria to be in it, or do you just?
I give everybody freedom. I like it to be at least like 6,000 words ish, but like with this last one, the Dark Love edition, Christina got pregnant, and so that kind of took away from her time, understandably, from writing.
Oh, come on.
And then Jason, he had to move right in the middle.
Jason didn't get pregnant, right?
No, he didn't.
All right, he can keep going.
He's fine then.
We expect work out of you, Jason. Come on, get off your ass, man.
But he had to move right in the middle of everything, so he did a partial story, which we're actually doing another Dark Love edition so he can get the rest of his story out there.
Oh, awesome. And it'll be the campfire one or April Fool?
We're hoping to get it out at the start of April, but it'll be a sequel to the Valentine's Day one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So we wanted him to be able to finish his story, so we all agreed to do another one so he can get his.
Oh, awesome. And you found it? Did you find it, or was it a picture sent to you of it on Barnes and Noble's shelf?
I actually talked to the manager of that Barnes and Noble. He's been very, very supportive since the beginning. Like he's helped me. He's the one that let me know that if you publish books on Amazon, that he wouldn't be able to carry them in his store.
yep.
So that's I published my solo one.
If you have a different cover on it, I think you can sell it from Amazon to Barnes and Noble. They just don't want to share the cover.
Oh, really?
That's been my experience with my partner, who's Ellen Pratt, who is editor. I mean, she uploads everything. I would have no career if it wasn't for her. She's just one of my best. I don't know how to do any of this. All I can do is write. I can kick it out and I can write some twisty shit, but she is my girl for all of that. But we've had to, some of that is that they don't want to share a cover. They don't want, what you can get on Amazon, they don't want the same thing. So you have to maybe look, I mean, and maybe that's changed, between now and then, but that was, to my knowledge, that's something.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I'll look into that.
Mm-hmm.
And he introduced me to a gentleman named Guy Quintero, I think. And he helped me out a lot too. He gave me a lot of advice. Another horror author. He's very good. But yeah, he helped me quite a bit, letting me know how to get everything done. And then also an author named MT Hart has also been very, very supportive there on Instagram.
That's a fun name.
That is a fun name. MT Hart.
MT Hart.
MT Hart.
Yep.
Awesome.
I've read a couple of their books also. They're also very good.
Great. No, that's clever. That's a clever name. I can tell. A pen name, of course, I'm going to guess.
We were actually supposed to be in, I attempted an anthology a couple years ago, but it all kind of fell apart, and they were supposed to be in that one. So I'm hoping to bring them in one time.
Great.
I've been wanting to do a story with them for about 3 years. So hopefully we can work it out to where they're in one of my anthologies also.
That's awesome.
And Carol, feel free if you want to join in. Just let me know.
I would be happy to contribute. You just let me know.
Awesome.
Campfire Stories is coming out on hopefully Memorial Day.
Okay.
If you want to be in that one, that's actually going to be where Kristen's suggestion comes in. The tree sprite.
Awesome.
What's your suggestion?
Which one? I think we suggested a couple.
Tree sprite. The knock on wood.
Oh yeah. The tree sprites.
Ooh.
Yeah, he said if you give him suggestions about something, he'll write the story about it. So I'm like, knock on wood.
Awesome.
I have a tree sprite come out and do naughty things or something. I don't know. But
Death.
Can't wait.
Death and dismemberment. That's all I want out of my wood sprites.
Well, I think if you've heard my stories, that's a good possibility.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It needs to be original and it needs to be interesting. And I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I got a little bit of research to do because I'm not real familiar, but
right.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Sounds like it. No, yeah, just let me know.
We'll have to do a knock on wood episode, so I'll have the research done for you.
You're way better. You're way better at it than I am.
That's my favorite part of it is the researching. So
Yeah.
I got that for you.
I just show up and talk some shit. I mean, that's it.
She's really good at it. Really good at it.
I'm with Carol. My strong suit is writing. The rest of it, that's a little bit harder for me.
Yeah, that's it. I just show up and write stuff. So, put the words down, and I don't know. People who plot, I don't know if you're a plotter, but I can't sit down and decide where my story is going to go. I will figure it out as I'm banging it out on my keyboard.
I'm the same way. I've tried to outline stories and it comes off robotic and just not as.
Yeah, I can write you a book report. I can read something and I can plot that all out and tell you, I can write that, but I can't come up with something and make it up out of thin air by trying to write it down and then hoping it fits. It doesn't work for me.
There's been stories I'm halfway through and I'm not even sure how it's going to end yet.
Oh yeah, always. A lot of times I might know how it's going to end and how I want to start it, but I don't know anything that's in the middle. It's all made up.
See, and that's just, I don't know, that's fascinating to me that you can do that. Just, we're pulling into the hospital parking lot and that much, and then it just takes on a life of its own. That's
the best part.
Yeah.
That is the best part.
It's kind of almost telling myself the story of what's going on. It's so fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, do you see it in your head, like playing out, or?
I do.
I'm actually not a visual person. It's very hard for me to put this stuff in my head. I can just write it down.
Huh.
That's where my wife has trouble because she is a visual person. So some of the stuff I write that she pictures, she's not a fan.
Really?
I feel her. Like
the happy birthday Arayan story. That's actually us. That's my family. Arayan's my youngest son. Aaron's my oldest son. Ayla's my daughter. Javon's my son. And then Ray and Randy. That was me and my wife. When he calls us G-Mon, G-Pa, that's my mother and father-in-law.
Oh, wow.
But I'm actually going to start doing that, writing with real people too. I'm releasing another one tomorrow. It's my friend at work. It's going to be him and one of my other friends.
Awesome.
His name's Braden, so I'm going to do. They mentioned, hey, Ray can write a story for your birthday. And I was like, you want me to write a story? And he's like, and so that's all they know. They don't actually know that I'm writing it. I'm going to send him the link on his birthday and tell him happy birthday.
That is too cool. That's awesome.
But that's actually, I'm going to start doing that too, is using real people in my stories. That's fun for me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a guy message me once that he really desperately wanted me to write a story about him and he would be the hero. And I'm just like, I'm going to block you now because Oh, well, I bought your book and I really loved it. And I'm just like, thanks. I'm not writing a book about you or your life or anything else there, buddy boy. But
I'm going to keep it to people I know.
Yeah. Take, just whatever experiences you have in life or your friends. I mean, you steal from everything. So just take it.
I hope Ray's not stealing from everything. People get Dan a lot in his. Where do you hang out, Ray? Why do people die so much?
You can blame that one on Stephen King.
Okay.
Well, all right.
It's his fault I'm as crazy as I am.
All right. I mean, it had to come from somewhere, I guess.
Well, and like I told you last time, my older brothers didn't hurt either.
You're right. Yeah. And your parents. Mom scaring you and dad making you walk in the dark to get keys. And
yeah, it was interesting for sure. I probably watched The Exorcist when I was maybe like 7 years old, something like that. And so,
wow.
Yes,
that's time. Yeah.
Still pretty traumatized from that movie.
I don't remember. I know I've seen it and I was probably young. The first movie I really remember was Gremlins. Oh. And I was like 5.
Yeah, you were too.
I mean, But I had a Gizmo doll.
Okay.
I apparently enjoyed it.
You didn't feed him after midnight? Didn't get him wet?
I'm assuming I probably didn't.
Okay, well, good. I mean, you're still here, so you must not have.
Yeah.
Okay, good girl. That's awesome.
Yeah, my family, they were big horror fans, so, and I was a scaredy cat, so I had to deal with all that.
Right.
But
now
it worked out.
you
Now I'm not scared of anything.
That's it.
And actually, I kind of try to scare myself with, like, I don't know, maybe I miss it from my childhood or something.
Do you ever wonder if you've written as far as you can, as far outside as you can go, or do you push yourself to go further, to write darker, to write deeper?
I do push myself, but I try to write different.
Yeah.
I don't want to get stuck in he just kills everybody all the time.
Right. Got to be a craft to it. So
I push myself that way. Sometimes I do push myself darker, like The Broken Man. I really only recommend a certain type of people to listen to that story. That one's tough to listen to. It was tough. It was really tough to write.
Sure.
But that one, I think I told you the story, Kristen, is because my daughter writes also, and my oldest son said she could write a more jacked up story than I could. So
you had to prove him wrong.
Yep, I went as jacked up as I could possibly be.
Right.
But yeah, my daughter writes too, so that's nice. She's in the Dark Love edition. She'll be in the next one also. She's going to do one of our campfire stories.
That's awesome.
Great.
Hopefully she'll stay around. I really enjoy working with Emiliano and Christina. They seem like they're going to stick around for a while. They're enjoying it, so it's going to be fun, and it's going to keep coming.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
It's good to find people to work with like that.
The Tales from the
Well, I mean, yeah, with the other folks as well. When you can find like-minded people, you don't. I had one lady once who had messaged me, and she wanted to join me and my partner, and she wanted. She's like, well, I know all about marketing, and I'd really like to join you guys. And this was like on LinkedIn, because I don't get on hardly at all anymore. But she wanted to send me something so that I could sign it to say that the three of us would share royalties. I'm like, I don't know you. I'm not working with you. But, you really tried to, I'll message back and forth with people asking questions, or, writers talk, how that is. But, people I am happy to help people. I'm happy to have people help me. But when you want to come in and have someone else do all the work or write off somebody else's work, you've got to consider how insulting that is.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to ride your
I'm sorry?
They're trying to ride your coattails.
Yeah. I don't even have any coattails to ride, but she's just like, well, how about if I send you something where are we going with this? Because no, I'm not bringing you in. Laura and I, we're a pair, and where I go, she goes, and vice versa. And, we write together, and, we're just two Iowa girls who, do our thing. And, people that are so desperate to try to get in making money, and just that's all they want to do with it. They don't care about creativity, they don't care about how good their work is, and they just want somebody to give them a leg up. And I'm sorry, there's no leg up. You've got to do the heavy lifting, and you have to do the work. Really,
that's what I've learned. You can't fake it. You got, if you want it, you got to work hard.
Yep, it is.
He had the right idea, though.
Sorry.
He made his partners.
Oh, his children, yeah.
Yeah. He's got his daughter writing with him, and his son helping, and married the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, my youngest son does all the sounds. He puts in the music. My daughter writes. My oldest son, he's starting to write now, but he does most of the technical behind the scenes stuff. make sure he's the one that submits my stories to the publishers because he knows how to be he's the best with his computer. So yeah, it's nice having all of them there to help me out. It's been amazing. I couldn't have done it without them.
Do you query publishers?
I actually don't.
I don't either. It has been exhausting, and it's. I know a lot of people do, and I'll see a lot of stuff on Twitter. Hey, I'm querying. Wish me luck, and I'm like, they want anymore. It seems that a publisher wants to see what you have self-published that's become popular, what your platform looks like, and it's just difficult. It's not something that I will probably ever mess with again.
I don't think I will either. I write what I want. I don't want anybody else. I don't want anybody. I don't want. I'll do requests, but I don't want it. You're not telling me what to write.
Right. My first book was published by an agency, and that was extreme and difficult, and it could have been so much worse, but it could have been so much better. And then going into the second book, coming right out of the first book, it was cut out chapter 23, 24, 25. I can't cut out 3 chapters. How do you cut out 3 chapters in the middle of your book?
Really?
It's not going to make any damn sense. It's just so, I had to walk away from that and was just lost so much sleep over it because I'm like, this was supposed to be my big break. I have a publisher who has put out other work. Just if you would just act as my agent, just sell my work to, there are some other folks that I know have come through there who have made it. And it was just, like I said, it was just a letdown that, this is what could have been. And, that wasn't meant to be. And then you have to walk away. I had to walk away from what I thought was my big break. And that takes years off your life.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you wrote that. You don't just tell me. You don't get to tell me what to write. You don't get to tell me.
Part of the series, and it was we want you to change the ending so that it's a standalone, so people don't feel like they have to read the rest of your series. They don't have to read the rest of my series. I'm not changing the ending. So then it was rewritten for me and sent to me, and I blew my top. So I've said no. You can edit and you can make suggestions, but you don't get to decide. You don't get to rewrite my ending. Well, we'd really like it to be a standalone. It's not meant to be a standalone, and I don't want it to be that way.
Yeah, I don't want people to feel like they have to read the series. Well, I do. I want them to read
If you don't want to read the series, don't. But I'm not going to write this, hoping, maybe people will read it and think it's a standalone. Why? That's stupid. I don't know why people are so concerned with making a series seem standalone.
Yeah, I don't get that.
It's so misleading and it's so disjointed when you try to, here's a series, but you can read book 3 by itself and be fine. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
Well, I have a lot of respect for you for walking away. I'm sure that was tough.
It was really difficult, but then it was really a big relief because I didn't have to fight with anybody anymore. And Lauren walked away with me on her own for her own, dissatisfaction with, she was supposed to write like teenage romance, and she's like, that is not what I do, this kind of thing. And so we've worked together ever since. It's been it's been 10 years ago now. My first book was published in 2014, and keep plugging along.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Your partner also. That's cool. That's really cool.
We clung together after, and she'll say, well, you were the fair-haired child because they didn't, fight with her like it was just, it's just a funny the way that we talk about it, and that we bonded so tight over that because it was so hard. And it was so, like I said, I see people who were talking, on Twitter about querying. Do you have any advice? And my advice is don't do it. Learn how to self-publish, learn how to, learn how to write. If you don't know how to write, read a really good book, and take cues from that, and learn from that. When I first started writing, if I couldn't figure out, I'm like, okay, and I mean, I didn't try to look it up online. I would just, if I couldn't figure out how should I fit my punctuation in here? I'd go pick up a book and I'd start reading it until I came upon something that was like, okay, that's what I need to do. Legit. I just picked up another book and read that, and because it may be a different story, but it's all the same formula. It's all, and I don't mean formula. People write with a formula, and I don't do that. But it's like, okay, all punctuation is meant to be the same. All editing is, the end result is make your grammar right, make your punctuation perfect, to make all of this. So just read, I guess is what.
I'm with you. I learned more from, I listen to books mostly, but I've learned more from listening to books than I ever did in like how to write in school. They never really taught me that.
You're right.
I learned from, listening.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people take writing courses. I don't want to change what I do. You know what I mean? When you go in and it kind of alters the way you do things, I'm afraid I would never remember how I used to do things. So yeah. Some people take it to the extreme where they're like, it has to be this way, and it doesn't. It doesn't. Just write.
Yeah. I'm happy with what I write. Well, I'm sure you are too. I don't need somebody else there. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I like my stuff.
I'm happy with both y'all stuff, so except for the ones I won't listen to because you warned me.
Oh,
you warned me.
Oh, good.
Broken man. I'll never listen to that.
Okay.
Unless you're a certain kind of person, do not listen to that story.
Okay.
It's similar to Saw type stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's definitely a parental advisory on that one.
Gotcha. And we are the parents.
Uh-oh.
Well,
I mean, I made people, if that's but
right.
I have an 18-year-old who is far better at parenting than I am. She is the best mom I've ever had. I mean, don't tell my real mom, but
of course not. Yes, because real mom would probably take exception to that.
She might.
She
might. But that 18-year-old, man, she's got me and her sisters so taken care of. That's right.
It's when they grow up good.
Yeah.
Okay. It cracks me up. The little ones will say, "Hey, Mom, can I?" No. That's my name. My name is Mom. You are Teach. I am Mom. So whatever. It's all right. It's all right.
Do you have solo projects coming up, or do you anthology for the most part?
I do the second book of Lost Souls. I'm working on that one. That's where the next stories, like the doppelganger, will be in that one. 2 Days with Deimos. The hospital will be in that one. And then the sequel, The Echoes from the Past in Elwood. It's called The Echoes from Elwood. That'll come out. And then also, let's see, the Elijah and Alyssa is going to be mixed with The Broken Man, and it's going to be called Breaking Elijah. So
Don't read it. No.
As far as I know, so far it's not going to be as bad as The Broken Man.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. In that one you can.
All right.
I'm going to let you know it's going to be okay.
Like me and Carol talked about, we do it on the fly, so who knows what's going to happen.
You're right. Yeah. You don't know. You're telling me things and you don't even know what your guys are doing in your books.
You might think you know, and then you get up tomorrow and you didn't know. You didn't know, because now you're doing a whole different shit. And you're like, yeah, I will keep this idea for a different work, and now I'm going to go this way.
Or even sometimes while you're writing, just
yeah, for sure,
just expecting that one.
Yeah, like, oh, what did I do?
That it just fascinates me that happens. Like, it's your story, you're writing it, and then you're like, wait a minute.
No idea.
I know. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't write either. So.
Well, you do.
I mean, I do, but I don't.
You had to put your book away. It was sad.
sleeping.
It'll
I
make-
honestly either. Just
What's that?
honestly don't know how that happens either. I'm just glad that it does.
I am too. And even if you don't write for a while, even if you're tired of it, you got to put it away. You get busy with life. It always comes back. And people are like, "Are you afraid you're going to forget how to write?" No, I'm not.
Sometimes the motivation isn't there, but the ideas always are.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes I got to stay away for a little bit. And I don't ever want to. I find myself wandering around the house and I'm so, bored or anxious or whatever it is. And I know I need to write something, but I don't have anything right now. So it's going to have to be unhappy with life. And then I'll get back to it.
Write something. Why be unhappy with life?
Well, because it's just, we creative people, we are sensitive. And, it gets upsetting. And then you save all that. You have to draw on all of that unhappiness and anxiety and write your stuff.
Oh, dude.
That's just stuff we have to deal with.
It really is. It really is. I mean, you can't draw from it well.
I'll keep my unhappy, bound and gagged and locked in the trunk. I'm just pretty chill.
You don't have a trunk. We're in my truck.
I have a big black trunk.
At
Steve
home?
trunk.
Oh, not the
Steve
trunk of the car. I thought it was the trunk of the car. And you have a hatchback. You
I
don't
have a
trunk?
hatchback. Can't even keep it in there.
Nope. Can I get out?
My guinea pig lived on top of my trunk for a long time.
Did you kill him too?
No.
I can ask these questions. You ask a question. Let's hear. What do you got? What do you got for Ray?
What do I have? So, your new book, your alone book. When do you expect it out?
I'm hoping by October.
Awesome.
But the editing, it'll be finished by then. But the editing process with my first book was a nightmare.
Yeah.
The
Editing.
people who
I hate having to have an editor, but you have to. But it sucks.
Not this editor. they were horrible. They changed words. They would put in words like so in there.
Yep.
Type she hadn't, and they would change it to she and apostrophe D apostrophe T. So it was like she'dn't or something like that. Terrible editing. Or if I, in a couple stories, there's a character's names that end with I. And if I put would after that, they would like one's Levi, they would change it to Levi apostrophe D. So it'd be Levi-I'd instead of Levi would.
It sounds like they ran it through a program rather than just.
It was terrible.
Okay, yeah, because no, we read it. If we're going to edit it, we read it. And most of the time we have to read it out loud to make sure we get what we need to get out of it. Because I can look at something and tell you what it's supposed to say, but that's not what I wrote. Until you look at the words and read the words out loud. When you try to skim over it, you cheat yourself. And it sounds like, I mean, my editor now is Lauren, is my friend, my partner. Oh, it's you and Samantha. Yeah, exactly. And you girls are as good as it gets. And my other editor, the one I'm talking about, she was great. She was very smart. She does a lot of work in the business. But don't change my words. Don't change my book and tell me you're going to make it so much better. And I made it so much funnier. No, you didn't. I went back through and I took every word out. Everything that got changed, I put it all back, and we had to have a fight about it because, well, do you know how long it took me to do that? It's not yours to do. It's my work, not yours.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it would be nice, like your partner's your editor, right?
Yep.
That's going to be nice to have somebody editing that knows your style, the way you want things to come. That would be very nice to have. You're pretty lucky with that.
I am. I will tell you all day long how lucky I am to have her. She doesn't get better. I'm sorry, they. I was
right.
talking about Lauren, and you're also shut up.
That's right.
Stop it.
I
You do. Your name's in my damn books. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I found with YouTube is it makes it easier because I am reading them out loud.
And you're
You hear how it's gonna sound when other people are reading it. So
Right.
that I wouldn't publish anything now without reading out loud first. It helps so much.
I'm with you.
So do you do beta and ARC readers, or do you pass your books around to friends, or do you do beta and ARC readers, or do you just edit?
I'm actually the entire team right now. I write, I record, I edit the recording, and then
Do you edit your own writing?
I do.
You find that to be difficult?
Also.
Okay. I can't edit my own stuff because I will never catch what I need to catch. That's me.
I find that I do miss some things for sure, but I don't like. It's hard for me to let somebody, like I was talking with your partner, that
Yeah.
I would like to have an editor that knows how I write, and
Yeah.
they'll make suggestions that are still with the way I write, and they're not trying to change in specific my style. They're helping me fix what I need to fix.
It's hard to find a good editor that will do that. That will, get you.
And they would take out things like I would put they slept like a baby, and that's not a big deal, but they would change it to like they slept soundly. That's not what I'm. That's not what I wanted.
Exactly. It's exactly that. I get that completely. I want my words to be my words, and don't help me. Go in there and tell me what's wrong with it. What punctuation's off. If I've got a hole in my story, that's what you're here for. Don't change the little things that make the big book.
Right.
For real. That just changing little things like that, it takes away your style, takes away the way you write.
Absolutely. Could not agree more.
From other people. Like everybody writes stories, but it's the way that they write them and the style that they write them in that sets us apart from other people.
Yes. I had one book that there was just a doorman. Okay, a doorman, a generic person standing at a door at a hotel. And it was changed to a Tom Cruise looking doorman in an Arabian Princess outfit uniform thing. And all I could picture was and then it was like butt taller than Tom Cruise was in parentheses. And I'm like, what the hell is this shit? And it was, all I could picture then was Tom Cruise dressed up like Barbara Eden in I Dream of Jeannie. That is all I could see. I was so pissed off. I mean, and just like, what are you doing? Why would you doorman? Tom Cruise looking doorman in an Arabian Princess uniform. No, that's I Dream of Jeannie. God, I was pissed. Let's just call it a doorman.
Yeah.
With dark hair or whatever you want to say, but what the hell is that? Oh yeah, I took all that shit right out.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that.
It turns your stomach when you come across something like that. You're like, ooh, what are you doing? And who do you think you are? I have hired you to edit this, not to add to it, not to change anything about it. I'm the writer, and this is my work. You know, if you can't handle editing, if you want to go out and, go write your own books, by all means, please go write your own books. That's great. That's great. I encourage anybody, but don't come in and change my stuff and then be mad at me when I changed it back, because that sucks.
Yeah. Well, and also like it's a fine line between not having enough detail and having too much detail.
Way too much detail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in too much detail, it gets boring and like.
It does. It doesn't flow. It doesn't travel.
And that has to be your preference as the writer, I would think, because it doesn't matter how you do it. There's going to be one reader who was like, there wasn't enough. I couldn't picture it in my mind. And then there's this other one going, so
too much stuff.
That's got to be your own.
Yes, I agree. What you said.
Yeah, it sets us apart. It makes you different than every other writer.
It does. Completely.
And how boring would books be if we all wrote the same?
Exactly.
Dull. Yeah. There are some I'll start reading and I'm like, this is just not for me. I don't like the style of it, or I don't get it, because everybody's got a flow, or yeah. I'll give this a try later, or something. I've got more books that I've put away than I finished lately, just because being a writer, I have a certain preference, I guess. I have, like I said, I don't read Stephen King anymore. I don't know what it is, but it's just my tastes have changed, and I have all of those books that I'm looking at behind you. And like I said, Needful Things and The Stand were my favorites. I just can't read them anymore. I don't know what that is. So I don't know why that happened. I don't care for that. It kind of bugs me when you want to read like one of your favorites. You're like, it's been a while since I've read this, and you're like, I can't get into it.
Well, that happens for sure. I'm with you on that.
I don't know. If I started, I have to finish it, but sometimes I'm not about it.
No, if it's not any good, I can't finish it. That's a waste of time.
Yeah, I'm with you. It has to be a certain way for me to be able to read. And I like to listen to mine, and so narrator's big too. The way I to be a pretty decent narrator, and I hate when they change it they change narrator in the middle of a series when you're already used to a voice.
Yeah, I've heard that from other people.
I mean, the only narrator I've ever heard is you, so.
Well,
I've never, well, I take that back. I have tried an audiobook like once or twice, and I heard the first 4 or 5 words, and then I forget it was playing, and I'm like, what's that noise?
Yeah. I got busy doing something else.
Well, what I'm hearing is that I'm your favorite narrator, so.
You're my favorite narrator.
That's what it is. Congratulations.
You are my favorite. Which, I mean, brings us back to Instagram. That's the only reason.
You guys know each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw your stuff on Instagram, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it and share it, and liked it.
Well, I can say I'm glad that we found each other for sure.
I know, me too.
Having you guys has been a blessing for me for sure. I
Aww.
really appreciate it.
Same. You ride to work with me every morning. It's the perfect length. It takes me about 10 minutes to get from my house to work. So the way there, the way back, I hear is about one episode of yours. So it works well.
I figured like 17 to 25 minutes is about the best. That's why they come in parts. At first I was just doing, like if I did The Broken Man now, it would be 2 parts instead of 43 minutes.
Right.
Because sometimes that does get too long and people just don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, which whenever I was researching starting our podcast, that was one of the things that I found over and over was you want the podcast to be between 25 and 35 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's less than that, there's not enough information, or if it's more than that, they lose interest. But yeah, yours is perfect.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And it's very actually humbling to have fans. Like, this is all new to me. So that's why to meet your daughter and your niece, that's who they were, right?
Yeah.
That was more amazing for me than anybody than it would have been for them, just to be able to meet. Enjoy
they are fans, they're subscribers, they're listeners.
It's very, very humbling to have people care about what you write.
It is.
It is.
Because it is scary to put your stuff out there, that it's it's scary to in your head.
I was a wreck with my first book, and after that, I'm like, Let's just put it out.
Yeah.
And we'll write it from there.
That's how I was with my first couple of recordings. And that luckily they're gone now. I re-recorded everything. Definitely hear those ones.
Gotcha.
This is my only I've got out there. I don't know. One of these days. I haven't actually started, but
you have to finish one.
I've actually spread you guys around work too, so you get a few other listens.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, awesome. Thank
really
you.
Nice.
I think one of them commented, her name's Stacia.
Okay, yes.
I didn't see that.
That's one of my friends that I work with.
Make sure to thank you.
She's a big supporter. She listens to everything.
A little shout out, Stacia. Thank you, baby.
She's the one that gave me Let There Be Snow.
That's awesome. I always tell you what to do, and you tell me what you want. But all right, whatever. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh, nice. How nice. Do you have anything? Any words of wisdom?
Just if you can't, if the way I am, if you're having trouble writing, just write something. It doesn't have to be good. Yeah. It doesn't have anything to do with anything that you wrote. Just write something.
Right.
Even if it's to your kids or something, just write something. Just try to keep it going.
On pencil and paper. With pencil on paper.
Carol, you can take breaks, but for me, like if I take a break from writing, it'll be, I don't even know how long till I come back to it. I have to constantly keep working. I'm a creature of habit. If I stop, then who knows when I'll start again. And so I just have to keep going.
Which is part of my problem too. When I started my book, it was I come home from work, I sit down for an hour every day. And sometimes I have 3 words at the end of that hour. Sometimes I have 1,000. But when I put it down and it's been what, 2 years?
It's been a little while.
About 2 years since I've opened the file.
But your subject matter is really
yeah.
Carol, do you have copies of your books that like for sale?
With me here?
For sale.
Oh yeah, on Amazon.
That I can have you sign and get from you?
Oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I'll contact you about that too.
I would be honored. Yes, thank you so much. That's very sweet. Yeah. I was like, I don't have any here with me to like show you, but I do.
I've seen most of your stuff, but most of my stuff, like I want to collect autographs.
Right.
And I don't want autographs from, I would like to have Stephen King's autograph, but I would like to collect autographs from people who maybe aren't as well known, or maybe
definitely not as well known. Right here, your girl,
right up there, right up there. You two are like a step behind Stephen King.
Many steps behind, falling off behind. Many steps.
Just people that not that like that just aren't known.
Yeah.
You, I'm sure you're gonna blow up one day, but talented authors always find a way. I feel like.
I hope to God. It's been 10 years since I started this, so I could use a little success. That would be amazing. I would feel so spoiled.
But yeah, I like I got Emiliano's autograph. Dr. Stewart, it's going to be a little tougher to get his autograph because he's in the UK.
Oh yeah.
But I'm hoping to send Tales from Deranged Minds to all the other authors and have them sign up for me, so I can have everybody.
Have you met any of them in person other than Emilio?
I actually haven't met any of them in person.
Oh.
The Barnes and Noble in Pennsylvania that I'm on their shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about doing a book signing, so I'm actually planning on heading out there.
That's awesome.
and Emiliano lives in Colorado, so the plan is to stop by and do a couple book signings with him.
Oh, great.
That's awesome.
Indiana, so that also wouldn't be hard to get meet her on the way.
On the way.
It'd be an awesome road trip.
And then if you guys want to do a live event, I'll stop in Oklahoma.
Awesome.
We're here.
I love going to places I've never been before. That's my favorite. So
Pretty sweet here in Oklahoma. We do have the wind whipping down the plain. I will warn you.
We don't have planes.
We do
And
have
the red
plains.
dirt. We don't have red dirt.
You don't have good dirt. I can't grow shit here. Mm.
I mean, we do have red dirt, but it's like the Oklahoma City area.
Mm.
Not here.
Okay, if you say so.
you have tornadoes.
Yes, that is true.
We don't. We have the tomahawk.
Okay, in Pryor where we live, we don't because the natives and the storms, they have buried the hatchet.
Oh, okay.
But any Oklahoman,
Explain.
so there is legend. Pryor had this massive tornado in 42. It wiped out most of the town that we live in. After that, our native population buried tomahawks at the four corners of the town, supposedly. And ever since then, the town has been protected and we do not have tornadoes in Pryor.
What?
Because they buried the hatchet.
They buried the hatchet. The natives and the storms, they buried the hatchet and now we are good. However, that story being out there for Pryor is not a newbie. Almost every Oklahoma town will have a similar story about a native blessing or medicine man or something protecting the town from the tornadoes.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're War Stroud. Those get wiped out once a year.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I'm sorry?
At least it worked for your town.
Yes.
Yeah, we're good.
After that one.
Safety. Safety.
That's actually, we have quite the native population out here too, the youths and stuff. Yeah, so it's a very fascinating culture. It's nice to be around it and be able to learn from it.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
My friend the Indian.
That's me. I got a card.
It doesn't
I got
count.
a card. Which we are in Cherokee Nation. So most of our culture around our hometown is Cherokee.
Yeah.
But we've got the 5 civilized tribes in Oklahoma. So we've got Cherokee, Choctaw, Muskogee, Creek, Seminole. And depending on where you are in Oklahoma as to which tribe is predominant.
Oh, okay.
But ours is predominantly Cherokee, so there's a lot of Cherokee culture around here.
Yep.
Yeah, ours is mostly Utes, the Ute Indians.
Like in Twilight.
We do have a few Anasazi museums around here, that's pretty cool.
That's not a word I know.
I never heard that either.
Really?
I like it.
They disappeared. Just out of the story, they disappeared. Look it up if you want. They
I'm
disappeared.
gonna.
How do we? She's writing.
There's a story by Louis L'Amour about the Anasazis and his version of what happened to them, why they disappeared. That one's a good one too.
Really? Okay, we'll look into that.
Yeah, my wife and I went to one of the museums for the Anasazis a while ago. It's down in southern Utah. That's where most of the native stuff is in Utah, is down in southern Utah.
Awesome. Like we are all over Osage.
Where we live right now, have you seen Killer of the Flower Moon, or have you read that?
I have not, no.
We live here. We live right here where that happened.
Yeah, that was, I think, Osage tribe, Osage County.
Like
so
Alaska.
yeah, it's not far from us at all.
City,
Maybe about an hour drive.
Yeah.
What was it again?
Killer of the Flower Moon. It's a Scorsese movie that just came out. The book is really good. I've read the book, seen the movie.
I
Recommend it. It's really It's really dark. It's really sad. It's really,
And very true.
yeah. And that's what happened.
Very true. And it was all over oil.
Yeah, it was.
Where
money. Of course.
Oklahoma has lots of oil. They stuck the Osage tribe on this piece of land they thought was destitute. Nothing was ever going to grow. It's never going to, nobody's ever going to want this land. So here it's yours.
Except for the oil,
And then oil was discovered. So then,
fascinating.
They
really
wanted the land. So
really good book. Really good book.
So rich people came in and ruined everything.
Well, in order to spend any of their money, the Indians had someone who, like, each person had to kind of report to the person that was in charge of their money to,
they had, well, the Indian Affairs, Office of Indian Affairs, in order to get their money, they had to assimilate. So
yeah, it just goes on and on and on.
Oklahoma we had native orphanages and boarding schools everywhere.
Yeah.
So at one point, parents could not get the money set aside for them unless their children were enrolled in a boarding school.
A lot of, if you don't do this, I just can't give you the money that is your rightful money because I am the ward of your money. So if you want this $7, sorry.
And they had no choice. I mean, they kept pushing them off to land that was rocky and wasn't going to grow anything. They wiped out the buffalo. They took so that they were dependent on this money. It was, if you ever get the chance, look up Oklahoma Indian orphanages, and they were horrendous. Children, little bitty kids were beaten if they spoke in their native tongue. They would stand them up in a basement, and if they started to sit down, or if they for hours and hours to break them of their native heritage.
Really good book. Really good book.
Killers of the Flower Moon is I read it.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Yep.
Wow.
Just, yeah.
It's amazing how evil some people can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they get the idea that, well, this, I don't have any right to this, but damn it, I sure would like to have it. It is. Yeah. Really heavily recommend the read. It's a good movie. I mean, we went and saw it. Doesn't cover it all nearly like books. So as usual, the book was better than the movie, but the movie was good. The book is fantastic.
The only book I like or the movies I like as much as the book is Lord of the Rings.
Those are good. Very good. Some of my favorites. Yeah, she doesn't watch movies.
I've not read Lord of the Rings either.
I haven't for a long time.
It definitely doesn't have everything in there, but it's still, I love it.
Right.
That's The Dark Tower is my favorite book series, and Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie.
Gotcha. Exciting.
I saw a movie one time.
Did you?
Maybe like three times I've watched a movie.
What
Yeah, I'm not. So if there's something good, I'll watch it.
Same.
I'm fascinated with good stories. So if there's a good story, book, movie, whatever,
I'll give it a go.
Story is a good story, no matter how it comes.
Yep.
I just don't have the attention span, which is weird because I can read for hours, but I cannot watch something.
Sometimes it gets tough. I do a lot of falling asleep watching movies.
Sometimes.
The dad thing where my kids just make fun of me because I'm snoring on the couch.
Yeah. Which I think that's probably why I don't, because that's like in my head, since I've been a mother, associate TV with bedtime. So
Yeah.
that's the only time my kids watch TV is at bedtime when they're going to bed. But all right, well, we are gonna get off of here. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah.
Again.
Any last words?
Any last words, right?
That's a little
Yeah.
Yeah, just I appreciate everything you guys do. It's awesome to. It's a pleasure to meet both of you.
You as well.
Next-
Thank you.
See the Ouija board.
Yeah.
And if I stop in Oklahoma on the way to Pennsylvania, you got to let me play with it too.
We'll be here.
All right. All right.
Awesome. Very
Bring the
good.
Ouija board.
I'll bring the Ouija board.
You let
Yeah.
us know when you're coming. We'll make sure we have the Ouija board.
I look forward to it.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ray. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Yes, thank you.